Good morning, everyone booting up this stream. All right, I gotta calculate my exits on this. $12.50. So I could do 12 exits. I gotta get rid of 20 shares. Let's see. Phew. 12 exits makes sense. Yeah, all right. And then I will have 8 left over to spread across there as well. Okay, that should work. So 33 underneath 33 should be one. 33, yeah. Under 34. Good morning, Randy. Hey. Under 35. 36. Were you able to take advantage of that discount, Randy? Or I haven't looked at in my emails or anything to double check. 7. $40. Was able to upgrade. Okay, to premium, but was unable to get WAP to take your money. Oh yeah. What was going on? Like what was happening? So you did try what? Entering this order, well, yeah. Confirm and send. Okay. 44. 45. Now, I need to spread 8 across $12. So what is that? 12 divided by 8. Every $1.50 from here. So 45, 45. So 43.50. Oh, gotta boot up the Twitter stream. Sent you a PM? You did? Like just now, or you did previously? Because I didn't see any previously. Oh yeah, you just sent me. Okay. The WAP thing. Okay. But anyway, I was just telling them the princess. You might have. Okay, I'll double check. I got a bunch of errands to run this morning. I will try to remember, but if you can remind me as well a little bit later today, if you can do that, we can just tie up any holes and making sure that we get that done. And I will look into it. 34.50 for you, and then 34.50, 35, 36. $7.50. Where are all the orders I just put in? This is so weird. Level 36. There is. But I just put a 36. Yeah, I just put a 36. Where are they? Okay, that is really weird. I guess I missed some or something. What is going on here? On Earth? Ah, it canceled all my orders when I... Yeah, that's what it did. Oh, jeez. I gotta put those in again. All right. D. Okay, 43 still in. 41.96. Oh man, what a pain in the butt. God. 41. Dividing 20 into 12 and a half is proving to be a real pain in the ass. Alright, son of a bitch. Do you find yourself, the older you get, do you find yourself swearing more? Is that just me? I was angst ridden. Is that what you say? Angst ridden kid, like every kid was when I was younger, and of course, probably when I was a teenager. But I pretty much stayed in my lane. But if you pissed me off, obviously, as a teenager, I was just, gonna get angry. You would get angry. But then, like in my 20s, I still didn't have that under control. And then in my 30s, with the divorce and everything, my brain was spaghetti and my emotions were spaghetti. Okay, I got all those in. All right, so I have 16. So I got to get 4 more exits here. Anyway, my point is, but when I was younger, I would be careful what I would say. But as I got older, I'm really quick to just curse. Does that ever stop? 43.50, 41, 40, 39.50. Or does it get worse as you get older? I'm finding it's getting worse as I get older. 50, there we go. 36, 35, 50. 34, 50. I think that's how many shares is that? 18. Okay. 34.50. I already have that in. And then do I have one under 33? I do. So let's do 33.50. Gets worse. Yeah. Especially if there's no kids around, and you're just free to say whatever you want. All right, so that's 19. Okay, now I'll just take a 20. Put that down at 26. Right there. Okay. All right, that's cool. I was able to add some more shares, refuel a position yesterday on DJT. Now, what is hot this morning? Let's go see. Especially no days that it's more acceptable. Especially on days where it's more acceptable? Are you saying like not Sunday, like church day, or what do you mean by that? Let's see. Or Monday through Friday when shit's more difficult in life. Oh man. Life is ridiculous. There's just so much responsibility. And it's like the only way out is when you die. You know what I mean? It's like it never fucking ends with the property taxes or the, you can never have that. The bills just never stop coming is what I'm saying. And then when you're dead, somehow they stop. Some of them get pushed on to the next person and all, but why can't you just die anyway? Why do we have to keep paying these fucking bills? Like, God damn it, right? Currently, society in general accepts swearing regularly. Yeah, currently. Yeah, I know. Maybe that's it, right? It's just more in vogue. CTNT, ZJK. Let's check some of these out. ZJK. Pretty heavy selling and a huge pullback. So that's not going to be going anywhere, but it's an interesting shape, and obviously it's a massive change, so we should continue to look at it. 700% gains in a multiple trade move, so it's got my attention, but it's faded completely since then. And what was that news that did that 16 minutes ago? Skyrocket after collaboration expansion with NVIDIA. Soar pre-Bell NVIDIA collaboration into liquid cooling systems. Next one down, CTNT. Okay. Let's move from $2 to $8. This one's also up 400%. And legitimately so, and it looks pretty good. Oh yeah, sell side is half, if not less. So that's almost a 2-to-1 demand to supply movement here. Okay, this one's definitely looking good. Stop at $6, entry at $8.50, $2.50 a risk. 40 shares to get in now. CTNT, I think I will. Don't need to belabor it. Okay, CTNT, putting that up there. This is for a day trade. Now, PSQH. It's PSQH. How is it that I said PSQH but typed PQSH? That's another thing that happens when you get older. Now look at, they see this, the red candles are bigger than the green candles. I mean, simple as that. Kindergarten. So PSQH we don't like. Now, actually I need to go back to CTNT and set up my exits. I need to do 20 shares across 10 exits. So every $20. Just put that on autopilot. That'll be 10 exits of 2 shares. That's 50% of my position. So your TSM position is doing good. That's great. I don't know how. Mine was at like negative 175% at one point. And I liquidated it. And then, of course, immediately it rebounded above. Of course. Wait a minute. What is this? Oh, no, that's PSQH. Okay, CTNT. Yeah, look at PSQH just failing out. There's also one called Soar, and Soar might be soaring this morning. Let's see. Side is pretty good, but the price pattern is actually not good. I'll have to keep an eye on that one. CTNT is the best of the bunch this morning. The market's opening in 19 minutes. Oh, what did you say? Poor vocabulary. One of my dad's favorite things was only ignorant people with a poor vocabulary use profanity. And I would think of that too. I mean, that's something I say too. But the thing is, and then you didn't finish though. Let me see. My vocabulary. My vocabulary seems to be more challenged as times move on. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. But no, I'm the son of English major, and I was in advanced placement and got the absolute highest marks, top honors in English all through school, including college. And so I don't use it anymore. But you sometimes might hear a word grabbed out of the void of knowledge that I have, of vocabulary, every now and then. But in casual conversation, there's no need for a huge vocabulary. But yeah, it definitely, that 100% definitely hasn't stopped me from cursing when I need to. All right, CTNT. Now, is there any more? So there's actually 4 stocks legitimately over 100% gains this morning, or close enough. That's an amazing signal in and of itself for small caps. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Russell 2000 is hitting new highs or something. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Oh yeah, it's right at a breakout point. Look at that. Wow. It's all about the small caps right now. Interesting. And how about the mid caps? Well, mid caps are doing even better. Mid caps are flying. They broke out. They're even stronger. Mid caps are stronger. And then I don't know. Do they have a large cap index besides the S&P 500? Like just specifically focuses on large cap. Let's see. Indexes. Large cap factor rotation index. That's interesting. What is this? That looks just like QQQ. Pretty much consider QQQ the mega caps and large caps, and they broke out yesterday. We might get some backfill today and for a couple of days for the rest of the week, or we might get continuation. We'll see today. But that's interesting. The small caps are ready to break out this morning. So watch your small caps. Roku must still be running because it's up 10%. It had a big day yesterday. Okay, those are the yesterday's numbers. Okay, these are yesterday's numbers. Oh, you don't see those up, but I'm looking at some of my lists. Chris is not up quite as much, but it's up 60%. What? Maybe it's not Chris. CHRS. Okay. Yeah, it's starting to have some heavy sell pressure right now at these levels, and it had heavy sell pressure before. Yeah, this does not look like one that's going to behave, but we will keep it on watch. I noticed that LPA jumped yesterday. Is that liquid gas or whatever? No. Let me see. LPA. Properties of the Americas. Yeah. That was the time to get in. But look, it's already down more than 50% off of like your risk entry if you got into that. So yeah, it doesn't have a history of running after it pops too much. I mean it kind of can, but that's more of a heavy gamble. Yeah, something that's kind of like rarely doing this thing. There was something yesterday. What did I get in? It was let's see if I can find it. Was it Zevia? So yeah, Zevia. Well, anyway, Zevia had popped pretty strongly, 130% in 3 days. So Holy Grail and High Tight flagged, which is Holy Grail. You know, if it's less than 40% pullback, and High Tight flagged, and then it broke out continuation. So I got in on the breakout continuation yesterday. Zevia, but I was trying to find an example for you that looked like what you just told me about LPA. Where it's a more interesting like stock, like its behavior is more worthwhile. That LPA one, its behavior is not really worthwhile because it doesn't have a lot of consistency after it. In other words, it'll pop and then it'll have not a lasting reason that it did so. And you can see that in its history. So past behavior tells you all about what to expect. You know, they say, what is it? Prior results are no guarantee of future results. But one of the best things you can do is look at prior behavior and use it as your expectation. Because even once you've slapped your stop on and you've sized your risk properly and you've got a good entry and it's a nice shape and pattern and things are looking good, even if it doesn't follow the way it behaved in the past, you're already just narrowing it down to one that might. And you're doing so by slapping all kinds of good risk parameters all over it and opening your position anyway. So it's like you're doing everything right, and now you're adding a possible expectation based on prior behavior to it. You could be wrong, but why not? But I do find that prior behavior does tell you something about future expectation. If every pop gets sold off, that might happen every time. So it pops again and then it sells off, and you gotta wonder, why does it keep selling off every time it pops? And you go in and you find out they have 7 shelf offerings open, and they're diluting like mad, stuff like that. So this one that I just got in, Zevia, I noticed it has rarely any dilution for the last years. And since IPO, they've done like no real threatening dilution. Not even 1%, 7%, 9%, 9%, 3%, 8%, 1%, 1%, 2%. Those are all fine. I mean, let's go to that other one, LPA. Let's see what it shows underneath. 240%, 62%. Twice they've screwed their investors. So, people are scared to get into something like that. They don't treat the investors nicely. So screw them. Don't take my money, right? All right. Well, we have 11 minutes. That's why I'm surprised you're looking at PSQH. Oh, that's just for a day trade. PSQH. No, isn't it PQS? No, I'm not in PSQH. I'm in CTNT just now, pre-market. However, yeah, but look, it does have 4-day follow through, and I'm only in it on a day trade, really, frankly. Okay, I'm only in it for a day trade right now on CTNT. What? Oh, CHRS is going. I'm like, oh wow, yeah, it just mentioned it. CHRS is going. CTNT. Let's keep CHRS up. I still don't like the signature on CHRS. I don't trust it enough. But what did you say? Okay, a detail I missed. Yeah, no, PSQH is not for a swing trade. No, every morning I double check what's hot. And if that's creating a day trade that looks decent, where the volume is lower than the demand, the selling is lower than demand, then I think about, batting around that day trade, because it is possible to do the amass system on the day trade. Good morning, Blimsta. It is possible to do the amass system on a day trade basis, and by the end of the day, depending on how that thing performs, you can catch one of these every couple of months. You might be able to catch one where, depending on how it moves, you'll get add-ons, the 2-for-1 exits, you get the add-ons, it snowballs, and by the end of the day, you could have a very large position that 2-to-1s, let's call that a verb, that 2-to-1s in a very large risk-free position. At the beginning of the day, you had what you had, and then if you're snowballing and raising stop and you're amassing, then you're going to be no worse, and yet you're increasing size, and you're skimming 2-to-1s off as you're increasing size, and it keeps going up. And so sometimes, twice a year, sometimes a little more frequently, one of those happens. And when it happens, from just $100 of a risk unit, like I do, it could turn into $5,000, $8,000, $15,000 in gains. But that's like, once or twice, no, twice or more per year, that opportunity can come up. So I try to stay on my feet. I try to tiptoe into the trades by opening the pilot position. And I don't care if I lose. I'm not in it to win or lose. I'm in it to jackpot it. No, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't be teaching you that necessarily yet. But one of the nice things about it is, applying a mass to a day trade is you're getting, 7 months of a swing trade in a day. It's the same patterns and everything, in the add-ons and the raising of the stops and calculations and the math and everything, as you would be in a swing position if it had, 3, 4, 5 add-ons, which would take about 4, 5, 6, 7 months. So in some sense, it's kind of good practice too. It keeps you sharp. But no, I'd really want you to master the swing trading, shares buying, a mass snowballing system, in addition to your PCS system. And I think that that's useful because I have a hunch, correct me if I'm wrong, but I have a hunch that you're not fully allocated and that you've been having trouble getting fully allocated. And so that's fine, but you're not, fully, what do you call it? Capitalizing on your working capital. So the thing about the amass system, the way I built it, is it starts with pilot positions, like little tiny little, you put a bean in a pot, and you put a bean in a pot and you have all these pots, and until finally, there's a couple of them start growing and you're reaping the tomatoes and everything here and there. And then all of a sudden, one of them like breaks out of the pot and you got to get a bigger pot. So you do, and you put the soil in it, and now this one turns into a mega monster, and now you're cutting off these incredible tomatoes, and it's growing, and all of a sudden you're like, wow, it did it again. It broke the pot. See, the reason why it keeps breaking the pot is because it's special. And you don't know which one's going to be special unless you pilot, which is tiptoe, into a lot of these different pots. And then one of those is going to be a magic bean. That's kind of a cool analogy there. That makes a lot of sense though, and maybe that plant will die when it's really big, but you got to feed your family for 3 months some giant tomatoes, you know what I'm saying? So you never know. Like Amazon, there's many examples, but like, for example, Amazon went on a 13 or 14 month run where there would have been 7 entries and 7 add-ons. Thanks. And it would have amassed a giant position. Towards the end, you would have had such a giant position, it probably would have consumed your entire account. You would have been just in Amazon, but you would have been raising your stop and reaping those tomatoes all along the way. So even if it came back to your stop and stopped you out, you would have been at a raised level of profits on the year. But the point is that even at that point, when you're in the biggest size of your position, you're going to be trimming 50% of that position up to 2-to-1, which is usually going to happen. If you get an entry, it's usually going to push. Even if it fails out, it's usually, especially if it's something that's been on a mega run like that, it's going to do an exhaustion run. And that exhaustion run, you'll be able to reap 50% harvest up to 2-to-1 as it exhausts out. But on top of that, probably I've taught you guys, but this is more on the advanced side, that when it has extreme pushes after you're completely 2-to-1'd out, you can take some more out. So it is likely that while you have a massive position, you will be systemized and trained into taking a lot of that profit out. It might even take you all out, all the way up to the tippy top. Because something that's massively running, towards the end, they have an exhaustion, like a supernova. They have an exhaustive move. And it just finishes everybody off. And I teach you how to sell into that, because it's usually beyond 2-to-1. And when it is beyond 2-to-1 and you get in big candles, you take more out until you're finally like, well, shoot, I'm all out. That's fine. I'd rather you be all out, a massive vertical supernova moment, exhaustion extension at the end of a 7 time run, than not. So then you'll find so that's what happens. And so it's really worth learning this little magic bean system for that purpose, because you never know what it's going to be. And it's a nice way to just have some of your, like, for example, I have margin, but so my half is like a quarter, but I have like half of this particular trading account in pilots. I think about 50 pilot positions, and they're all doing to varying degrees. And I watch them every day, and I go into the garden and I check. Do I need a bigger pot? And they're all doing fine. No bigger pots needed yet. But I already have a bunch of big pots. Through that, I have 30. It might even be more, but it looks to my naked eye to be about 30 double-sized pots. And I have 2 triple-sized pots. And those 2 triple-sized pots are doing good. And the double-sized pots are doing good too. And all of my single-sized pots are doing their thing. And, that's, it tiptoes you in. And then it starts to consume everything, all your resources. Eventually, you've got a 10-size pot with a fucking palm tree, a 40-foot palm tree in it, with coconuts falling off, and you're having to water it all day and make sure the sunlight is on it, and solar energy, lights, and everything, and you're putting all your resources into the one tree. And eventually you reap all that harvest and it dies, and you start over again, but you're, in great shape. I just got a exit. The market is open. What did I just get there? Oh, TMQ. It looks like a stop out. Now that, I believe, was one of my larger positions. No, it wasn't. Yes, it was. This is a larger pot. Finally just got stopped out. Let me take a look at it. What happened? It probably was earnings or something. Let's go take a look. TMQ. Oh, I see it just moved down below my stop. And I will actually give it 5 minutes here to watch if it recovers. In the meantime, CTNT is moving, and look at CHRS, the one I didn't like, is crapping out. I knew it. CTNT has some potential here. TMQ I got knocked out of, but I'm half out because my stops are half outs, and I have the other half on a 2-to-1. So then in that moment I can decide to get all out and just flush it all out if I want to. This too. But interestingly enough, I got a DJT amassed position. I'm in a double pot. I'm double sized, or whatever you want to call it. I've had 2 entries. I'm in a bigger pot on DJT. So out with one, TMQ, in with another. All right, what I'm going to do now, just let that flow, is I'm going to take a look at everything that's moving. Palantir of my positions. I'm going to start with my biggest pots. You should monitor the health of your small pots or your big pots. Which ones? What should get the priority? You should be monitoring the health of your biggest pots first. Doesn't that make sense? It makes sense to me. CDXC is my largest. Not largest position, but it's a triple pot. And IJIC, and it's halfway down to my stop. and IJIC is doing super fine. Now, to my double pots. Palantir. Nice. New highs on Palantir. Oh, no, not quite yet. The wicks weren't up. But it looks like it's gonna. Q2, that's my second best performing position at the open here of my larger pots. NRG. Yeah, I think this garden and planting, growing plants metaphor is pretty good. All right, funny enough, PSQH is breaking and running. That's a day trade for you guys if anybody is doing the day trading. Let me take a look at the sell signature real quick. No, I don't love it, but that is an entry for people who just want to take risk. I just got an exit on something. Let's go take a look. Gigal is my third best performing pot this morning. I just got an exit on Palantir. So Palantir probably is moving up my 2-to-1. I love it. Love it. And you know what I like about Palantir is it's my largest position. And it's just doing great. Look at that beautiful chart. I just want, and look where it's come from. It has so much potential. Oh, actually, wow, we have climbed up the IPO high. Amazing. Palantir is doing great. Palantir does AI-based business administrative tools. So, and they're hot. I mean, you look at their revenues, and they just keep growing. Look at that beauty and the efficiency, the orange line of their margins increasing to now almost 20% margins. That's so good. And then their earnings are increasing because of all of that. And on an annual basis, also, I mean, it's just Palantir is going to be one of the highest octane stocks of next year. It already is this year. Palantir year to date is up 300%. And this is my largest position. And how did I get to this point with it? How did I get it to be my largest position? By thinking that it would be? Nope. Nothing. I did no guessing on that front. I did no guessing. I simply planted the beans in all of the pots, and that one happened to be growing and needing a bigger pot, and it's still growing. Maybe it's going to need a big, you know what I'm saying? So it's automatic. You just follow the system, and these things start to grow on you. Maybe I should change the system's name to Grow and have like a sprout with some fruit on it there or something, vegetables or something that you can reap and stuff, and then behind that a giant tree or something. I don't know. Anyway, so I do think that the growing a plant and reaping the harvest is a better analogy than snowball. It's kind of hippie-ish, and it's a little bit weak and light, but it's probably more apropos, and there's probably a cool way to do it, to do the logo and everything. I don't know. I'll look into it. All right, NRG. I got to look at my big pots and look at the health of all my big pots. Okay, NRG is doing fine. AFRM, I'm out of take profits for some reason on that. Marvell, these are all doing great. Wait a minute. Let's go back and double check about raising stops. Yep, that's fine. Q2, from the perspective of raising stops, that's really what's most important. And NRG again. Yeah, no stops raised there. I did recently raise them. DJT, Donald J. Trump, is continuing. Really nice. That's great. And that was an increased position. App. I have about 30 of these double pot-sized positions. And look at this app. Look at app. Look at that. I mean, I got in here. It became a larger position here. And it's just been going up from there. It's kind of breaking out right now. to where I could put a stop over here and increase my position size. I don't know. How many shares? I think it's a smaller position because it's expensive. I do only have 2 shares left, and let's see. And that's the only orders on the books are a stop order. So if I were to add here, it would be probably to double my position, which would move my stop to about 300. How much am I up on that? 31%. And that's even on a diluted re-entered position. I'm actually up on the initial entry, 53%. There was another exit on Palantir. Palantir continues to move. Let's just watch that in the corner over here. Palantir. Oh my goodness, what a move on Palantir. I don't know what's going on in Palantir, but you see, I already have my Autobots on the plant snipping those tomatoes. That was another one. It was like, it just grew another one. It's a big one. So now over here on app, I got to decide to raise my stop to 300 and double my position. Yeah. Damn. It's really a tough call because I would like to stay in this position and not get knocked out. But I do have some 2-to-1 to harvest here. So, all right, I'm going to add one right now. I have 268 as my stop yet. That's not where my average position is showing. Oh, that's because it sold. My average position was like 260. So let me double check something here. App. 237, 3250. 237, 3250. That was my first buy. It's interesting. It's not doing the calculations quite right. All right, cancel that buy. I'm going to have to buy it at the ask or something in between there, or I'm not going to get filled. That should get filled. There we go. All right, see now my stop is 296.78. And I have 3 of those. 3 times 296.78. My question is, if I add just one more share at 353.67, where will my stop be? 311. So that's too high. So that's it. I could only add one share there. Because this is just a expensive stock. And from there now, you recalculate your 2-to-1, and I am raising my stop to 300 on that. That's what allowed me to do that. You can't add on really, in theory, unless you're raising your stop. And so that means from my new add-on, I got to calculate a new 2-to-1. Uh, 2-to-1 is down around 438. And I only have 3 shares, so what I will do, because I'm a little bit worried about how high it is I'm going to sell the majority of my position into a push if that were to so happen. So I'm going to take 400 and I'm going to take 397 and 427 as my exits. 397. Those are way up there. 397, but that's the system adjusts for volatility, so it's interesting. And 427. There we go. Oh, entering this order will cancel. Yeah, that's fine, but don't cancel the other one. Is that what happened before? 3. Yep, it does that. And then one stop at 300. 300. What a range. This thing is wild. Okay, let's see what sold. That was something interesting. Was it CTNT? Could be. No, it doesn't look like it was. What was that? Got to fill somewhere. We sold DJT. We got an exit on DJT. And we hit more on Palantir. Let's go look at that. It's like watching fireworks. Woo! What a nice move on Palantir. From our initial entry on Palantir, we're now up 46%. The magic bean. I love that. I mean, it's so silly, though. And DJT is moving up. Very nice. I have all my 2-to-1 set up there. Okay, moving down more. App, Gigal, AAOI. Oh, Reddit is way up there too. AAOI is just doing an incredible rally continuation. And I think I'm all out at AAOI of all my 2-to-1s. I am. All right. So the next time AAOI breaks out, if it's strong enough, I'll take another piece out, you see. You would learn that in my masterclass. How much do you know, Randy, at this point about the system? This system, the share system. Have you missed some of the classes? Where are you at in your knowledge of how to perform the amass system, the grow system, the magic bean system? Now, Reddit apparently is doing well. Okay, good. Nice, yeah. Reddit Aris is continuing. AFRM I looked at a little bit ago. Gigal AOI Marvel, I think I looked at. Okay. CNVS. It would be nice if your active trader activity was automatically adding your setups to the graph. Oh. I mean, yeah, but here's the thing. I mean, I'm with you on all of that. It would be nice stuff. And I used to let that just frustrate me in the beginning, 25 years ago, at the beginning of all this electronic trading, when I started on Thinkorswim in 1999. But over time, what I found was that nothing ever happens. And so you just come to terms with that. It's a disappointment of trading, is that a lot of what you'd like to happen is never going to happen. And it's a bummer. You said, I've only missed one class, but I do not have the mechanics down. What's today? So tomorrow night, are you going to make it? Got another exit on DJT, Donald J. Trump. CNVS, this is a nice long pullback. That's great. What I'm hoping for on this now is for it to do something like this. And then, come up. Put in a higher low. And then eventually, create a new entry for me. I will. Okay, so what I'm thinking is maybe we'll just go over the really specific mechanics of it. Okay, let's put it this way. What's holding you back right now? That's what we should focus on. Is it finding the stocks, the opportunities? Is it not knowing the math and how to do it and what to do? Like where lies the cloudiness that prevents you from feeling confident about moving it forward for you? Just it's a toss thing? So it's just setup. I gave you a share. Do you remember that? I gave you a share of my active trader strip, this thing. If that's what you're waiting on. You don't need that though at all to do this. It's swing trading. That's, it's a little bit more for active. You don't necessarily need it. Maybe you want to have it so you could do these entries right here on the ladder. I don't know, that you gotta load up my active trader template that I sent you. Is probably going to help. RSAOI cargo hood. Did I look at hood? I think I did. Oh, I'm on hood. Okay. Guide wire. I think I already looked at. AHR. NNE. I'm halfway through my big pots. Prim. IonQ. I have so many. I'm trying to stay as retired as possible. Yeah. Yeah. The PCS then, is going to be that. You just probably need to get a little more aggressive with that so you get a little bit more fully allocated. Not aggressive as in taking dumb risks, just more aggressive about getting on top of it and staying on top of it, like as a financial, like as a trading fitness thing. You know what I mean? You probably just need to be, well, it's the holidays. I understand. Geo. Lunar. Payo. GME. Riot. TMQ I'm half out on and see it already kind of rebounded, but I'll probably get more exit in a few minutes. Snow. Okay. Tesla. Tesla's doing fine. Chewy. I thought maybe it wasn't doing too good. No, it's doing fine. Oh, see now here on Chewy, got earnings coming up, and I haven't built up a padded position. When are earnings? Tomorrow morning. See. So it didn't have a big huge run, and I wasn't able to build up a padded position, and and it's a larger plant. This is like this would be the equivalent of knowing that you didn't give your plants did not get enough sunlight and nutrients going in to a flood that's coming tomorrow morning. Like this one is out in the field where the flood is coming. Like you heard, the river's coming down. Right? And so if it had padding, that would mean, it grew a nice stalk. It had some nice roots. You've taken a lot of the profits in the harvest of it. But at this point, it's weak. At this point, it's weak. And you haven't taken enough harvest from it. And so it's a good idea to take it out of the field and go move it into protection. And unfortunately, that means it's going to die because you're going to close the position. But, you're going to be able to take all the dirt and redistribute it. You're going to be able to chop up the rest of the tree and be able to, let's call it, create food out of it, or use the wood for baskets and stuff. You can, in other words, you're going to be able to keep the money. So you get out, but the position is too weak to withstand the storm of an ER. It's probably a better analogy out there for that, but anyway, so I have to sell Chewy. And it looks like people are buying it going into earnings, but that's it for me. I got to close my order, I got to close my position going into this earnings right now. Gotta sell everything I have on it. Here it goes. This is me closing out Chewy. That was something else. That was DJT with a third profit. And there's a cheat entry on pullback on DJT. There's an alert going on DJT. I think DJT is zooming, but I gotta put a little exit symbol on here. Exit because of ER. I did not build up enough padding. Sometimes you can build up lots of padding before an ER. Not that one. Okay, over to DJT. We maybe are going to be able to increase our position and raise our stop. Not really. Not me, but that's an entry for anybody on DJT. Thanks, man. They help you understand, what I'm teaching here. That's an entry on DJT. It's a low cheat entry, which is great. And as you can see, it doesn't come from, for a long time, these opportunities. So what did you say? Real commitment to things, but once I am, I'm seriously committed. Yeah, that's good. What did you say? This needs to remain fun. Okay. Yeah. Fun for me to commit my time. I keep moving on the PCS then. Obviously profitable as well. It takes me some time to make a real commitment to things. I get it. I'm the same way. But once I am seriously committed. Yeah. No, I totally understand. If somebody told you, you can make a lot of money with this magic bean gardening system where you have to take care of 70 small potted plants such that some of them are going to be incredible growths, and you're going to have to take those and move them into the bigger pots, but you're going to have to check everything every day. You see what I'm saying? It's just a lot. As little as it is a big commitment, because the way to catch the winners here is to have your beans in mini pots or your fingers in mini pies, however you want to describe the analogy. So I'm getting lots of beautiful, smooth exiting going on DJT. And the funny thing is, we've been hearing that all morning, right? There's been 3 exits I've taken so far on DJT. I believe I heard it 3 times already. But the interesting thing is I just added on to that yesterday, so it reset all of my orders, and I forgot to put on those positions, and that was what I was doing pre-market when you showed up. I was doing my calculations on DJT, and I set up all my exits up the 2-to-1 up to $45. And now it's happening, So, you got to stay on top of your positions and stuff when you're doing this stuff. APP is up 5% today. Let's see if it's up enough, if it's breaking new highs. Okay, it is. I added on. Right. I don't even need to look back at that. I'm going to go put this together into my... that's a triple. If you look at it, that's 3 entries on APP. So that gets moved to my triple pots. Nice. So now I have 3 triple potted positions. I'd like to see Palantir do that because, then it would be really a larger position. Ironically, my 3 triple potted positions are relatively small. And that's something you can't control. That's just how the risk, the volatility levels work out with all your thresholds. I gotta take a look at this Fastly I got in yesterday. doesn't seem to be following through. Yeah, boy, it's pulled all the way back to my stop almost. Yeah, all right. Now, yeah, going through all of those now, let's see if I can double up any and raise my stop on any of these positions. Now, this one, technically, I ought to be able to raise my stop here to like 96, but it's not a super mature base that I'm getting a signal on. But it seems to respect pivots. So, do I have a pivot thing muted? No. Zigzag, there it is. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I'd like to build a zigzag indicator which shows unviolated zigzag regions as very good, green. Okay, so I have 6 shares, and I'd be moving my stop up to 96 here. My average price is 110. That's strange. Why would it say that? I don't think that's correct. It shows here as 106, unless I added on the other day. I've got to go look back on this. I might have already added, which is good if I did. Let's go take a look. ALAB. Oh, this is over here, ALB. So am I going to be looking at ALB or ALAB? See, you got to watch everything here. ALAB. Okay, there it is, 105.81. That is correct. Okay, I have 8 shares. Now what I want to do is I want to add such that my stop goes up to 96 for however many shares I have. So that for my break even to 96, I would not lose more than $100. So I'm able to increase my size here without increasing my risk. That's what I'm going to do. That is one of the ways you can play this system. But I'm not able to bring my break even to a 0 risk point yet. But that'll come later. All right, so we're talking about I have 8 at 105. We're talking about the stop at 96. It's almost at 106. So 10 times 8 is 80. 8 times 10 is 80. So I'm really close for my $100 of risk unit here to the stop. I just bought a little bit more. That brought my break even to 106.35. So 106.35, 444 times 9. 106 minus stop at 96 times 9 shares. So that's $10.35 of risk times 9 shares is minus 93. So the question is, if I got 10 shares, how much risk would I be at? And assuming the cost average would go up a little bit more, let's call it 107, 113. So I was really only able to add 1 share here, keep my risk in check. So I'm going to indicate that though, because you know how difficult it can be to track later. So I added 1 share. We will recalc all of our 2-to-1s. We raise the stop to 96. It's right under here. It seems apropos based on the prior behavior and how it's moving. Though it is with a kind of a high expectation for it to continue with such strong movement. Okay, so now we set the 2-to-1, and I need to set up like 4 or 5 exits. I'm going to go with 4 probably. Let's see. Let's set up the 2-to-1. 96. And 2-to-1 is all the way to 139. Essentially 139 from the current price of approximately 110. So that's 29. So we'll make it 140 from 110. So 30. And I need to take 5 exits across that $30 of upside. Roughly, maybe 4. $30 of upside divided by 5 is every $6. $30 of upside divided by 4 is every $6? $7. 7 times. What did I just? I did something wrong there. 5 divided by 30 is 6, is it not? 6 times 5 is 30? Yeah. So I take 5. Okay. So I'm going to take $1. I'm going to take 1 share out every $6 up $110. So $115.80. $116, $122. I already have some orders here, so I got to move them up. 22, so that'd be right there. 128. I'm just moving orders that already exist up. 128. Another $6 from there is 333. And then $6 more is 138. Which takes us really close to that 139 final price we were looking at. That's 5 exits up to 2 to 1, and then I'll have 4 left that I need to set a stop on at 96. There's already a stop in here to get rid of at 115. No, where is it? There it is. At 85. So now I'm going to put that 4 remaining share order to sell underneath 96 at 90, 580. There we go. So this is a pilot position, a bean that has become a double-sized pot now, an increased sized pot. We've increased the size from their starter. Okay, so that means I got to move things around. A-Lab in my system here. In my Thinkorswim portfolio. Okay, now move that to a mass. There we go. I'm going to quickly check on my one-stop prop account. Okay, Apple's doing great. I got to take a little bit of that. I got to harvest. And what is Berkshire doing? Not doing too good. Hilton, not doing too good. I need to get into more positions over there, but I'm not going to be doing that right now. Maybe later today. In the meantime, we're going to go through more open positions. A-Lab is fully set up. How is that CTNT going? Oh, it's kind of holding up. Nice. Palantir looks like it's flying too. It's kind of a good day on the market, man. Okay, I just got an alert on AAOI let's take a look. What is it? Huh, yeah. Skyrocketing out of that top there. And I was thinking maybe I could raise the stop to 34 when it does so. What do you think? I would hate to get knocked out too early on this. AAOI. Small position of 8 shares already. Now this is pretty much it. It's really happening. I've got 8 shares. Stop. Break even at 26.50. I'm going to raise the stop to 34. All right, so let's start adding shares to 34. I'm not even going to do the math. We're going to cowboy style buy the bid. Got to move that up a little bit from there. What'd you say? I totally understand what you're saying. Would you say DJT is showing resistance? I mean, there should be some resistance there at my alert line of 34. That's the entry. All right, I got to get this fill. Okay, 28.45. I'm trying to raise my positions to 34. My average price to 34. Okay, there's 30. Trying to get it up to 34, 31. So my position is increasing. And I'm moving my risk to zero risk. 32, 36. Buy another one. $33.26. So one more is going to put me very close. Okay, 34, right on the button just about for my break even. Okay, so we added, I had, I think I had 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, that's the math. All right, I had 6. So I added 6. I got to annotate that. Today I added 6. And now we got to move our stop up to the new level of 34. And we got to move our break even to where it is as well, which is 34.03. I mean, it's so close. It's zero risk. And now we create a new 2-to-1 to measure out all of our take profits that we got to set from here. The old 2-to-1 is no longer. The new 2-to-1 goes to basically 64 from 44. So that's $20 to get rid of 7 shares. Maybe 7 will divide into the more perfect number we're looking for. I said it's basically 64. It's more like, I guess you could say 63 from 44. 63 minus 44 is 19. 19 divided by 7, that doesn't quite divide either. I got to get rid of 7 shares across 20. 20 divided by 7. Oh, actually, we can make it 21. So $21 divided by 7. Every $3 from 44, we got to put an exit of 1 share. Every $3 from this level of 44. So 47. So what I do now is I'm going to cancel all. Now we're going to set these all in. Zoom out a little bit. 47. So the nice thing is that we did get to increase some positions today. Of that, 47 plus 3 is 50. 50. 50 plus 3 is 53. 56. And you'll notice I'm putting it just under every level. 59. Oh, you son of a bitch. All right, 59. Come back. 59 plus 3, 62. So is that what we figured out? All right. 62, so 61.95. So I have 6 exits up to 62. It's supposed to be to 65. What did I do wrong in the math there? Probably because I started at 44. Yeah, so it divided it out in between. Well, that's rough math for you. All right, so now we'll have 8 shares to stop at 34, which is our break even. And you can see that here. If I stop underneath 34, I will lose 75 cents. So this position is now zero risk. and I've increased my position size, and I've reaped harvest. This is the second add-on? Sweet. Actually, this position moves. Is that right? Hold on, I got to double check. Where's AAOI? It got knocked out. I don't think so. I might not have had this in the right folder. Where are you? Oh, yeah, sure enough. I'm up 65% from the average. From the initial position, I'm up 77%. Now, I got to concatenate those and put them in the tripled up folder. Triple entry. Cool. I now have 4 tripled positions. Oh, what did you say? Did I already read this? I'm not sure. Oh, it's quite a bit long one. I need to stretch the chat view here a little bit. Okay, that's better. Oh, very nice. Really long. Okay, things at once. Yes, and I'm at the point of recognizing after I study them. Okay. And then, it'd be nice to keep it in practice. Maybe you mentioned that. But I continue to work towards seeing them intuitively like you do. Okay. You don't have to pull back into your thought process each of the rules. And part of that is because I'm committed to it, and so it's, and I'm in so many positions and having to do the calculations at least once a day, if not 10, 20 times a day. That, the engine is oiled, it's greased. If a month went by where I didn't do any of this, I'd have to look back at my notes. That's just the way my brain is. I don't try and remember too much, otherwise it's going to give me a headache. You have learned because of your years of experience. Well, yeah, there's certain things. I make mistakes, but I understand the system we're working here. There's not a lot of moving parts, believe it or not. It sounds complicated, but there's not a lot of moving parts. So, I'm just doing my job, maintaining 5, 6, 7 rules for a magic bean growth system, it has become more of an intuitive thing than a fairly complicated thought process. I'll be honest, I definitely have to do a lot of thinking. I mean, you're seeing me. I'm thinking out loud. And I'm doing a lot of thinking, aren't I? I think so. There's still a lot of thinking. But if it was a nice little checklist, that'd be nice. You need to go through. Although I realize there is still a large amount of specific determinations you must take. Hope that makes sense. Kind of makes sense. I kind of understand. All right. So I'm pretty happy and stoked that I have a tripled up. I have 4 tripled up positions now. That's pretty cool. None of them, however, are necessarily my largest positions. I've got some amassed snowball doubled positions that are bigger, like Palantir and Berkshire are some of my bigger ones, and then Aris and Hood? I don't think so. Snow. Those are some of my big ones. Carvana. And they've just worked out that way. There's not much I can do about it. One of my biggest single positions that's still a bean, that's still a pilot. Hilton, Apple, Axon, and GE. So I just mentioned, my largest positions. Oh, I forgot to put my orders for PCS to get out of VRT and all these other ones. I got to do that right now too, because I got to get out of these puppies. They're all at like 98% max profit. I got to get out of these things. I wanted to get out so I can free up the money, All right, let's try to get out. of VRT. Nope, no fill. Try to get out of Anon. I'm even giving them what they're asking, 6 cents. Because I'm at like 90s plus max profit at the current mid. Oh, there we go. I got out of Anon. Yay. We should literally celebrate. That took a long time to get out of. I mean, granted, I did get a longer dated one. That one was all the way until January 17. Yeah, which I opened in October. All right, but that's good. Finally out of Anon. Yay! We need to celebrate on that. Okay, closed. And then Netflix. Here's one that I've been having trouble getting out of. Come on now. It's up to 93%, and I only have one left. Just fill me. Just fill it. I refuse to give them 21 cents, which is what they're asking. That's probably why I can't get filled on it. I'll give you 18 cents. Come on. That still represents 93% max profit. You bastards, fill me. All right. And then over here on VRT, I'll put another order for even a better price. Come on. You can give it to me. Nope. Wow. Well, maybe at some point today it'll get filled. All right. So moving down my smaller positions, my beans, to checking on my little. I should check like all the what do you call it? Terminology for gardening and stuff, and see if there's any that don't sound too lame, but that make total sense. Sprout. Oh, sprouts. That's good. That just came to my mind. Little sprouts. Plant a bean, see if it becomes a sprout. If the sprout grows strong, move it to a bigger pot. And stuff like that. Yeah, this is pretty good. So let me go over to DJT, by the way. Oh, CLT. Is this to raise a stop? And aggressive. If you were aggressive, you could. But I really want to stay in on this and wait for a mature base break to raise my stops. Not in what's a rally, but that is kind of a high tight flag. If it were to break this upper pivot, I might raise my stop. Axon. That's doing good. WGS is wide and deep. My foundation is wide and deep. I mean, that is true. But, half of it is filled with shit. Shit I shouldn't have been doing. Jack and the Beanstalk, I know, right? But I mean, half of my foundation is filled with shit because you have to go through so much. So many mistakes and understanding what's wrong to create your foundation. I didn't really have like a mentor that I worked under. I went to seminars, I bought books, I studied books. This is pre-internet, and then as the internet evolved, I've studied YouTube's articles, followed other traders, asked huge mentor type traders questions like over Twitter, and they've answered me so I've gotten mentorship as well. But I will tell you that having a mentor, boy, that is gonna save you from learning from mistakes, big mistakes, because the mistakes, there's so many mistakes to be made in trading. They're just out there for the taking, WGS, Duolingo. And so you have to, with a mentor, they can save you by keeping you training on the one thing, like maybe you're learning to race a horse. They'll keep you on that, and then you're like, oh, maybe I want to do this other thing with the fucking llama and this other thing with maybe I want to raise donkeys. No, just learn to race the horse, the mentor will tell you, Stop, trying these other things. Shiny new object syndrome, they call it. I'm definitely guilty of having gone through all that because you don't know. I mean, it's if you don't have a mentor or something like that, you don't know which shiny object is going to be the one that works for you. And what happens is none of them work because you needed to become an expert at any one of them in order to make any one of them work. And you keep abandoning it and moving on to the other ones, and you never master any one of them is what happens. I'm going through right now my smaller sprouts pilot positions to see if any of them need a bigger pot. What I mean by that is if any of them have raised stops. This is so interesting. Look at this one, TRGP. I noticed a pattern, something interesting. Look, it just had these two strong back-to-back drops, and I was like, all right, maybe I should get out. That's not a good sign. Then I looked back and I noticed it's had two strong back-to-back drops before right here, and then it skyrocketed out of it. Then I looked back more, and I was like, well, here's one strong drop, and it completely came out of that. And here's three strong drops, and it came out of that. And here's two strong drop pattern again, including a gap down open reclaim over the 50, and then it kept going. So I'm not afraid of two strong drops on this ticker. And this is what I mean by using past behavior to help inform your future expectations and your current decision making. You've got to look at do you see that? It's exactly the same. Like, look, this is the two drops. You have the two drops right there. Then you've got essentially the same thing, two drops right there with a third drop in it. You have a micro drop right there. You can almost call this two drops again. And then you got definitely the two drops right there. So this has come up time and time and time again. And so even if it comes down a little bit, I'm going to have a little faith that it's probably going to inch its way back up and keep going. Another thing about my Amass trading system that I put together here is it really teaches you how to hold and how to take profits when there's profits and how to wait until there's more profits and not to worry and stuff. So the PCSs are really good for that. It's like the drop triggers buyers. Well, I know. Yeah, and that's absolutely true. So that's what they call, that's the difference between an egg and a tennis ball stock. When a price drops, one of them bounces and the other one, no one gives a crap. So it was, I forget which trader, but one of the big traders who said that. I trade tennis balls, not eggs, is what he said. But what he meant by that is not how they drop, but how they bounce. Look at the bounce behavior on the drops, because there's always going to be drops. There's drops and shakeouts and price adjustments and news. You have to look beyond the drop. Just like we can't add to a position unless we can raise our stop, and we're actually looking to raise our stop. When we look at a progress of a position, we're looking for stop raising points, which is an odd thing because it has to come down and come back up in order to create a new stop. When it comes down, I get interested that it's eventually going to maybe create a new lower pivot and a higher stop for me so I can get in because I want to add on. You can't add on unless you can raise a stop. So actually being able to add on and pyramid and increase size and make a position do better, you need to be able to raise your stops. So you're actually looking to raise stops. That's more the priority. You're becoming a stop raiser and the like. So now when it comes to drops, It's not the drops that you're concerned with. Repeat after me. It's not the drops you're concerned with. It's how they recover, how they bounce. If they bounce. If they don't bounce, you're looking at sludge, slime, dripping down a wall. There's no bounce. Where's the bounce? So it's all in the behavior of the bounce. Everything drops, but how's the bounce? That's really hard to explain to people because they get scared of the drop. The drop is something that you have to endure. But what you're really waiting for is to see how's the bounce. You see? That reminds me, I got to take a look at TMQ. Yeah, I got to get out of that. Did I get all out of that? No, I didn't. It's time to get all out of that. It continued to fall. Time to get all out. Let's see. I'm getting a glitch on my screen. I don't know where the right button is because it's all whited out. Sometimes this happens. Oh man, where's the button I'm looking for? Located. It's hidden. So I'm getting this order confirmation and it's blank. I keep pushing this area and it's the wrong button. Maybe it's here? Be a button around here somewhere. That might have been it. Yeah, that was it. Okay. God. That means I need to restart my system. All right, you guys. Let's call it a day right there. What time is it? All right, 10:30. We've been going for an hour and a half. And I'm still not done over here. But I got some errands to run. And I've got a glitchy system to reboot. So it's been a pleasure. We got masterclass tomorrow night. All right. What did you say? So many mistakes to make, especially without a tough mentor. I loved it yesterday when you told someone you might throw them out. Yeah. And yeah, I wish I could illustrate that every day because I mean basically what I was trying to say is you got to stop that bad behavior of trying to bottom fish. But I could tell them that, and then they give me another stock to look at, and it's a piece of fucking shit. So that's why I had to lay down the law. I said, look, stop bottom fishing. And then the next thing I had to say was essentially, if you don't listen to me, go to somebody else. You're gone. Because I'm not wasting my time, unless, they have an expression, when the student is ready, the master appears. If the student ain't ready, bye-bye. Yeah. So, and I've even considered like making a membership requirement or something. You have to pass a interview or something in order to be a member, but maybe next year. So that we only have serious people, because that's what this is all about for me, helping you guys. All right, you guys, talk to you later. Have a good one. See you in the group. Hopefully you got that DJT entry, low cheat entry. All right, bye-bye, guys.